Namaste, this is Yogini Udema and with the powerful yoga lifestyle. Today I like to speak to you about how it all began, my yogic life path. So let me start with telling you that I once read a Meridian magazine, and on its cover I had a picture of the Kumbh Mela. There was yogis who had matted hair long to the knees or even to the feet. They put it on their head or wearing it open, trishuls in their hand and markings on their forehead. And it was fascinating, this picture. It was the Kumbh Mela, a North Indian festival of thousands, if not millions, of devotees from all over India and the world. And later on, many years later, I attended a Kumbh Mela myself. So just remembering this is fantastic. That was my start into, India. And during that time, I also became vegetarian. Vegetarian insofar I still ate dairy and eggs, which I gave up a few years later. So from the Kumbh Mela, I went to a bookstore and they had a shelf of New Age books. And I picked one. It was the Gospel by Ramakrishna and talked about his life and experiences as a priest at a Kali temple in Bengal, in northeast India. And it was fascinating. It had the principles of Hinduism about reincarnation and karma in it. So I went to the local Christian church and I questioned them about reincarnation and karma. And of course they said, we don't have this here. We don't believe in that. And I, in my earliest 20s, I could not understand why. Why don't you have that? It's available in other places. You should also have that. No, we don't. Okay, I said goodbye then, and that was the end of Christianity for me. So from the Gospel of Ramakrishna, I went to study with a Hatha Yoga teacher, and first I was just taken aback by these crazy twists my body could bend into. I had never experienced anything like this, but it was also fascinating to me. And what was more interesting even was he was using Osho release techniques. So if you're familiar with them, very good. And what happened to me was by holding certain poses longer, happenings from my subconscious, they came up. So there were things revealed to me I had long forgotten about. I pushed aside, I didn't even want to look at, but they came up, which was actually very good because then they couldn't disturb me anymore. What came up was basically sexual abuse by my stepfather, second stepfather, as a 4-year-old girl. So not very pleasant, but it eventually was resolved. So then after that, over there, I met a young woman, and we went to the Shivananda Yoga Center in London, where I had a little bit of a cultural shock. They were sleeping not in beds, but on the floor on mattresses. And I thought, oh my God, what is this here? And never experienced anything at home. So it was shaking my inside world a little bit. But then I got used to it and it was okay. But just seeing these differences is pretty good in the world. Now, Shivananda, he himself was a Krishna devotee. And one morning, they were always doing meditation in the mornings. But one morning they had abhishekam, a bath, a milk bath for Lord Krishna. They had a small Krishna idol that was maybe 6 inches tall, and they were pouring the milk over it. And everyone was invited to participate, but it was just too odd for me. So I was the only one who didn't do it. And it's a very well-known custom, actually, in Hinduism. And later I became a temple priestess. and did that myself, strangely as it is, and as it goes in the world. So after that, in 1994, I, with my then husband, I moved to the US, to Phoenix, Arizona, where I first started reading the autobiography of a yogi, very interesting stories about yogis from India and happenings there that occurred to Yogananda, an enlightened master from India, and very well known in the West. And I spent 7 years with the organization, but then felt at the end it wasn't quite what I wanted, so I moved on. And what I did is, in 2002, for the next 2 years, I went every Sunday to the Hindu temple, which was a totally different story. And there I experienced some women chanting. They were chanting the Gayatri mantra, and it was just so beautiful. I went there with my son, who at that point was 10 years old, and I said, okay, you gotta remember the notes. I remember the words, but I could never remember melody and how to sing that. But I said the Sanskrit words, okay, I'm going to teach you, you teach me how to chant it properly. So that's what we did. We had fun driving every Sunday for about half an hour out there. And so that's how he learned a few words Sanskrit. And for me, it was a totally different story. I must have recited the Gayatri mantra in a previous life, because what happened was, after I was chanting it for a few months, it became ajapa japa. That is when a mantra starts running on automatic in your mind. So it just comes up and is there. And then if you think something, eventually goes away, but then when you have a spare moment, a quiet moment in your mind, it comes up again. And you start chanting with it again and again. Now, the thing was, back then, I didn't know what it was, why this suddenly happened. I didn't have anyone to ask, and it scared me a little bit. So I dropped it, unfortunately. Okay, let's move on. After that, what can be done, right? After that, I went to the Vedanta Society around Ramakrishna, also in Phoenix, and we had some monks coming from the Los Angeles area who visited us every month or so. And eventually I asked there for mantra initiation, and only during the initiation process I learned it was a mantra for Ramakrishna. I felt so disappointed because I felt way more attracted to his wife, Sharda Devi, the form of the divine goddess. And I wanted to chant that, but it didn't happen. So I was totally disillusioned and unhappy about that. And I thought, no, this is also not. And then in 2006, it happened that I went to Los Angeles to attend the first US Kumbh Mela, and there I met my guru, because the event was organized by my guru himself. His name is Paramahamsa Nityananda, and I like to speak about him in my next video. So thank you so much for watching, and below this video are my links to my art website and also to my powerful yoga lifestyle website. Please go there, look around, and familiarize yourself with what I have to say, and then come back for the next video. So thank you so much again. I appreciate you visiting with me here. So namaste. Thank you.